folks, welcome to ITOM Spotlight, and today I have with us Chris and Andy from MicroNova, Germany. So hi Chris, hi Andy, it's nice to have you here. Could you tell our audience a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So let me start. I'm Christian Schneegans from MicroNova, Germany, working as head of support and consulting at the enterprise solution division of our company. I'm heading a team of right now 11 people that mainly do support and consulting. So head over to Andy.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andy. I'm the head of sales at MicroNova. I'm leading a team of about 15 people at the moment, and we're still growing, and it's nice to be here. It's my first time in India, and I feel really welcome. I want to say thank you for this nice welcome here.
Yeah, we are very glad to have you here today. So we'll get started with an industry-specific question. So today, let's talk about the automotive industry. So with saying the automotive industry, what do you think is the current state of IT adoption in that industry?
It's very different because some processes are really old school for the manufacturer, and some cases are very, very modern. And also we are struggling in Germany with software for the cars. And also, as everyone knows, we have problems. We had a recession in the country. So for the automotive industry, hard times in Germany.
True.
Okay, so with that, we also see the automotive industry basically, it's becoming a lot more digitally forward. Usually the cars were in bigger modern stores. So you just go in a store, buy a car, come back. But now you have a website where you can build your own car, you can design your own car, choose your own car. So the automotive industry, to us at least, it looks like they're a lot more digitally dependent. So they have applications that they have to monitor, the uptime. And how do you think they are going to do that?
Well, I think they're gonna do this mainly within call it observability system, and they adapt these systems to, let's say, monitor everything, no matter if it's a website or if it's all the production lines, so operating, so OT. So that's what they mainly do. They need a good monitoring system for all that. There are a lot monitoring system right now out there that were used also with the automotive industry. So maybe you have to add something.
No, this question is too technical for me. I'm just a sales guy.
So maybe you can add a sales perspective to it. What do customers ask when they, ask for a solution, especially in observability? Like, how do you sell it to them?
When the customers look for it, good question. Can we take a break? What do we say to them? With the automotive industry, it's very hard to discuss because they have so many different endpoints, so many different problems and so on. And mostly we talk with automotive suppliers, and they have a lot of work to do. They have to be sure that their solutions are all working, that they are all sure. For me, it's a problem because we don't talk with the big OEMs, so like BMW or so. We not often talk with them, but I think they all have same problems. They have different OS systems. They have the cars have their own systems. Their production lines are very different. You have Linux, you have PLCs, you have Windows. You have so many different scenarios there. That's a problem. So they need a bright solution like you have. And yeah, that's so it's long discussions that we need with them.
So, like you said, they have different endpoints, and I think we can all agree that the infrastructure has become a lot more complex than it was already. It's distributed, it's remote, some is on the cloud, some is on premise. So how would you advise, or how would you encourage these IT engineers to approach such a scenario, such an IT setup?
Good question. Well, I'm not sure what I would advise to them. So maybe just as I said, use an observability system so that they can integrate any kind of endpoints into it. So for sure you need an observability system that accepts all the endpoints, even if it's OT, to get an overview over everything that's going on in your system, and to get also the small the small connections between all the systems, and if something breaks at the end, you should know that this depends, or this is that other system depend on this end system, and you have a problem with your whole production maybe, and that's what they want to see. They want to have an overview and see if just a small piece breaks, that they have a problem on the whole system. That's what they need, I guess, and that's what they need a good monitoring observability system.
And also a lot of the small suppliers didn't even know which kind of endpoints do they have in their production line. So really it's they don't know which endpoints do they have, and also they have very long time running endpoints. So for example, you find Windows XP still in it, because you have machines running 20 to 30 years. Also now you have AI, you have a lot of remote scenarios and so on. So sometimes it's really modern, and sometimes it's really old school, and that makes it really hard.
True. I think, like you said, no matter how modern organizations become, the dependency on the old school legacy systems is still there. And
Big topic.
Getting visibility into that area is tricky. And like how Chris has suggested, maybe having an observability solution that gives you that complete visibility does help. But that also raises the question, when I implement a solution like observability that gives me full visibility, it also means that the solution is going to monitor almost every other data flow from the network. Right. And when you have compliances like TISAC, it raises a bit of cause of concern there. Right. So how do we navigate such scenarios?
For TISACs, you have a big list of questions, and in Germany, really it is when you want to work with the big OEMs like Volkswagen and so on, you have to have TISACs. Otherwise, they wouldn't even talk to you, because it's very important for them. And so one of the scenarios is you have to know about all the vulnerabilities. They have to be listed, not solved, but listed, that you can that you know your risk and so on. That are really important things. And so I would start with the basics, with an inventory. Also, that is recommended, and to build a state of all the endpoints. And that would be my start.
Yeah, sure. I think, as Andy already said, so any company working with automotive manufacturers, they have to be compliant to TISACs, and they have to be clear on their own, or they have to prove on their own that they comply with their internal regulations. So if it comes to a observability platform, you have to be sure that the data keeps in the company, that the data is transmitted secure, and all that stuff needs to be on stage. And you have to be aware that this works as it is written in the compliance policy. So that's a big point, and this is what often is not the case. And we have to be sure that this is set up so that we could work with manufacturers for automotive.
But the good news are that TISACs is not a secret. It's not difficult. The basic is the ISO 27001 certification, and I heard that you have it, and it's one of a good argument, because it's the basic. This international standard. When you achieve this, you can also solve TSAX without a problem. The only difference is about prototyping and so on, but that's an organizational thing and has nothing to do with a software or observability.
So, combining both of your answers, you were talking about knowing what vulnerabilities you have and how you're going to fix it for the compliance. And you shared your insights on how to make sure that you have the complete visibility to do so. So, yeah, I think those are great best practices to get started at least with the TISAC compliance. But what do you think, like with your experience of dealing with customers, could be the pain points or the challenges when it comes to being compliant?
Well, I guess, as I said, you have to be sure that everything is secured on data transmission. And that is a big point that most or some of the, let's say, not the manufacturers, so the companies that work with automotive manufacturers, they cannot prove this. And they have problems with a secured way and with these data that sometimes gets out unsecured, so that someone else can read it, no matter if it's just a log file with information in it that needs to be safe, that needs to be secured. And I think that is a big problem right now. And especially in the automotive industries, well, if you know that the cars itself, they do not have any security in it if it comes to the IT in the car. If it comes to the German car makers, I don't know what about the others, but there is no security. It comes more and more in there. But right now it's not. And so they have to be sure that even this keeps or is kept safe and does not leave the company.
And I really would look for solutions that can automate a lot, because we have a big shortage of skilled labor on the IT. We have 150,000 IT guys missing in Germany. And so all the suppliers have problems because they don't have enough people. So they need really smart and effective solutions.
Sure. So the challenge is going to be finding a solution that is secure by design and not just being reactive or firefighting. And the skill gap, I think that's going to be an issue that organizations need to address.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But organizations also need to be competitive, especially with AI. And when that element comes in, it challenges almost, well, your compliance, your the setup that you already have, the processes that are running. So how do organizations integrate AI into their current processes?
Yeah, for planning, for prototyping and so on, they do it, but really it's my personal opinion is that our OEMs really has a problem with AI. I think it's other companies in the world are a little bit forward with these techniques than our ones. Maybe you have a other opinion than I have?
No, not really. So I also think that in Germany, especially maybe in the car manufacturing industry, so the exception of AI is a bit slow and the adoption is slow. But even if so, they adopt it, as said, slowly, but not in the production itself, but maybe to get a forecast or something like that, or to make some processes on the process planning, to make the processes more efficient. That's why they implement AI right now. So maybe we can see some progress in the future so that they use it in the production to make the production line better. I don't know how you can do that, but maybe it's possible. And sure, even in the car, it would be a good thing to have AI. But let's see what the future brings in that.
There we have a case with the personal data, with the privacy of the personal data in car, because it depends where are the data going of the customer. So otherwise, you have the next problem.
So what's the verdict? Is AI really living up to its hype, or? it's just there?
It's for me, it's not a hype. It will come, but I think in Germany we are more following and not leading this trend, and we have to be in front to learn, and we have to make really progress in AI, especially for the car manufacturers. Every seventh job in Germany depends on the automotive industry, and we need smart solutions for this industry to help this industry, because it's important for us, for the whole country.
Agreed. But the one word from Chris's response that struck was the predictive aspect of AI. And like you said, it needs to be smart, which I'm assuming that it needs to at least start automating well for the efficiency factors. So, what's your take on AI for automation?
For automation, AI could maybe could automate some manufacturing processes, and also taking care of the quality assurance. I think it's the right word, or to prove quality. I'm pretty sure that AI can do it very, very well. So especially when you look with cameras, if the part is right or not, with small differences, AI will prove that much better than we have. But I think more the manufacturer of the machines that the suppliers use, they have to find smart AI solutions that work together with the other machines, because for the supplier it's one system, but he has also different suppliers, and so I think this is really hard to manage, that they have the same platform and that they can really good communicate.
I think I would also like to add Chris's take on this, given your technical background. How do you think AI could help with resource management, like predicting, for example, let's say we are using AI to run the backend systems, the servers and CPUs and storage, and I would like AI to tell me, okay, this is the amount of resources you have. It might run out soon, so you might want to scale up. Is AI in that stage, and is it really useful in resource management?
Well, I think it is really useful in there, because for a human, it's maybe a little bit difficult to see and to analyze all the stages. So if I'm running out of resources in the future, with AI, this is a lot easier to do. So you have the data, the AI can analyze that and give you a forecast. So maybe I'm running out of CPU or RAM or whatever in the future. As for humans, this is a lot of work, and why pay a human for that if I can do it? So it's much easier and much cheaper to do it.
True.
And also for digital twins, for example, nowadays you don't start a production with machines, you start with a digital version of it. And AI can help to make the data very, very good, that after that you can build the machine perfectly and don't have to work on the machine again and again, because that slows everything. In Germany we need 4 years to develop a car. In China they need 1.5 years. So that's a difference. So, and we need to be faster, and I will help that.
Sure, I think like what you're building on what you've said, like it helps in the testing phase rather than in the production phase, because we can find issues more proactively, and especially with concepts like digital twins, all of this becomes a lot more easier. But there is a bit of a concern even there as well. I mean, it sounds a little too good to be true, right? Because when I bring in so many technologies, so many processes, I'm also gonna be a little bit of a sustainability defactor. So when companies think about sustainability, the green aspect of running such massive, good technologies that do come with a lot of pros, how do they handle their infrastructure and make sure it's a lot more greener and leaner?
One thing that I think what makes greener is you have also predictive maintenance in it. Otherwise, you need a lot of spare parts in your billing and so on. But with predictive maintenance, can say, hey, this you will need this part in 3 weeks, and can order it automatically, and so you only have the parts there that you need, and you also don't have a waste or something, because Everything is exactly planned, and you don't have to order things in advantage and then you need it or not need it. And so it can make your process more sustainable, and also it will find things like where you can save energy. So they need a lot of electric power in these factories. So I'm pretty sure when AI helps, that they reduce their electric power need by 3%, for example. It's a huge amount of money for them.
Yeah, but it's not only the maintenance part. So car production is always just-in-time production. So they produce the whole chain. It starts somewhere, and the piece that is produced at the start, it's needed maybe 2 hours later in another production process, and they only produce what they need. So that's some of their sustainability. If they produce more in the front and they don't need it in the back, so that's waste sometimes, really. And as Andy said, so if they can use AI for whatever process, if it's in energy or if it's in the production process itself, so also the machines over there, they use a lot of energy. And if they have a break, let's say, so I know from BMW that they have a break every 10 minutes, the production stops, they can go wherever. And if there is something in that process where they can get more efficiency out of it, they will use maybe AI for it, and it is good for sustainability to save energy or whatever. So
11% of the time that you have for production, the production not running because of some technical issues and so on. And I read that it's over 1,000 billion, I think, worldwide, what could be saved, and this would be not happen. It will happen also with AI, but not in this big, not in this big amount. And also the other part for sustainable, I worked for an automotive supplier, and we were building bumpers, and at this time the prototyping was really hardware. So we built it, they tested it, okay, there we have to change, next prototype, next, and it was all plastic waste. All plastic waste. And now they do everything of this digital, and yeah, that's sustainability.
Wow, those are nice insights. I mean, thanks for the nice story as well. So, what is your advice? I mean, we have a very exciting years ahead with AI and with a lot of other trends as well. How do we take on the next 2 or 5 years?
I think one trend is this, that IT and OT more and more gets together, because you have Windows on both sides, so why difference? You have Linux on both sides. The only difference is the special PLCs in the production, but they are going to be more soft PLCs in the future. At the moment, you really have a PLC. It's you have a hardware thing to build in, and in the future they will run on digital, on systems.
And if the other side is security, you also have to keep an eye on security, as we already said earlier. So there is for sure sustainability, AI and whatever, but security is let's say one of the biggest parts today that you have to keep in mind. And no matter if it comes to data that goes out of the company or inside data leaks or whatever, that's a big thing today where we have to keep an eye on for the next years. And I think data breaches and so on will get more and more. So we have to look at it.
So it's going to be security, all the while it's still being more digitally forward.
I can really agree with the security point, because when you develop a car, you have to write a lot of NDAs before when you're a supplier, and it's not allowed to give any data out, because a lot of companies around the world would be happy to have this data. And when you're inventing something new, all the know-how to protect this, because this is your USP as a company, and so yeah, you can really lose everything with it.
Yeah.
And also the penalties in Germany are getting higher and higher. When you have some security breaches, the government will look, why is this why this breach? When they say, okay, it's your fault because you don't use modern software or you let the door open, I say, then you have to pay a penalty also. You have the damage and you have to pay the penalty. So not good future when you don't be secure.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Yep. So thank you so much, Chris and Randy. It was very, very insightful, and I think our users would find a lot of those points actionable. Maybe they would start considering the aspects. And it was great having you on the show. We enjoyed it, and we look
Thanks a
forward to
lot.
meeting you again. And that brings us to the end, folks. Let's meet in another episode.